William, right, has a Kujadosha of the eighth house type, right? And we're not going to go through each Kujadosha, right? Because we just want to kind of give you some ideas, and I'm going to give you some things that you can do to remedy some of these things, right? And some of the things that could even offset it in a chart that might even reverse or cancel to some a great degree some of these placements. But nonetheless, right? William, right? Remember I said Mars in the eighth house produces what, my good brother?
Sexual problems.
Look, I'm not saying all those women are right. I'm not saying that. I'm not. But I
Yeah.
darn for sure am saying not all of them are wrong, right? Now,
I mean, well, no one never debate. I don't think he never debated that the
mhm,
specifics of what was done was done. The debate is whether it was consensual or not.
right, right, exactly. The eighth house is a house of rape, folks. The house of rape. Not to say he raped anybody, right? But all I'm saying is that he definitely has an appetite,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Camille, hats off to you, sis, right? Because she stayed down by law, right? She's the classic good wife type scenario. Not because she turned a blind eye, but throughout it all, you never saw her on TV throwing smut. You never saw her out there in the public giving her own personal opinions. You never saw her turn her back on a man that stood for what he stood for. And to get, and let's say this, everybody comes with something.
Right.
That's one thing you learn in marriage. Whomever you're with, I don't care if they have a kuja dosha, kala sarpa dosha, no dosha, they come with something. And over time, that something can become an irritant. It becomes challenging to navigate. That's why it's a spiritual exercise.
Right. Yeah, because you just can't. You got a problem coworker. You leave work. You know,
Right.
but you can't really escape this person.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a problem with the boss? You ask for a new supervisor or you quit. Right.
Right.
Even problems with your siblings. Right. You don't have to live together at some point.
Right.
But with a mate, you're tied. Right. The soul ties become stronger. The more you have children, the longer you stay, right? The more problems you're enduring face, these soul ties become almost, real. That's why it's so real that one of the highest, and I can't remember the name of the list. You might be able to remember it, brother, because I know you know about it in priesthood. I'm sure they might have trained you, but there's a list of things that create illnesses, right? And the top of the list is the death of a spouse or divorce, right? I can't remember the list. Talking about the list of things that create like loss of job, um, um, loss of family, that kind of thing. There's a list. Well, at the top of the list, folks, is loss or death of a spouse, either divorce or loss of a spouse. That's why some people really get sicker when they go through right that separation process, or when the spouse dies, they die.
Yeah,
You see,
there's a lot of data on that. Especially, I mean, especially for
especially if
older.
you're older, right? That's why the seventh house is a Makara house, right?
Mhm.
It's a death house, right? Because as you get older, those soul ties, that bond, right? It becomes like cement, and when it's broken, right, it produces a lot of fallout in the stress area, in the area of stress, health, right, mental wellness. That is a major thing. So again, salute to Camille, because that is a true woman. She stood the test of time, regardless of all the things I'm sure she has heard and has been able. Imagine her in-laws. Girl, you tripping? You with this Negro? He crept on you with those women, and did you see the women? Right? I mean, I'm sure, right? They look like men. No, like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, for real, right?
Yeah.
So this is she is, I don't want to say a classic example of what it means to endure and to have a fortitude, but you got to give her props because I haven't heard one word from her, not one,
No.
right? Be interesting to see her chart, but nonetheless, Mars in the eighth produces high libido, high sexual drives, and an insatiable desire for the opposite sex, or sex itself. Period. I don't want to say opposite, just sex, right? It is real, right? And so this is where the infidelity, as I mentioned, eighth house, 12th house can play itself out, bar none, right? So Bill definitely, has the chart set up to produce the characteristics and the um, tendencies that he has been accused of. He does. Now, if I
Yeah.
go deeper, right, I can show you that yes, he did do those things, right? Because the eighth lord, which is Venus, goes directly to the third house of hands. And Venus is a planet that deals with sexual sides, it deals with women, and it also rules the eighth. And K2 is there, which is the knockout, right?
Well, we talked about it
We
in the
did
Bill
talk about
Cosby
it
episode.
before, right? We
Yep.
did.
So
We did. So it's there if you want to
go
go
check
back,
that
check it
episode
out.
out.
Absolutely, because it's a good episode too, right?
Indeed.
So this is Bill, but he is Kuja Dosh oriented. So we got a female that is has a mouthpiece, the words of a lion, right? Words of a dragon, right? She can curse you. I'm sure she can curse you without cursing you, right? And Bill, right, just make sure you don't eat the Jello, right, when you're there, because right, you might be a little woozy after, right? He's gonna feed that need. At this age, I'm sure quite different approach from Bill, right? But 20 years ago, yeah, right, Kujadosh.